Good day, I'm happy to say that this definitely should be the last episode of this build, but it's not 100% that it would be as I said. Anyway, Cheery Type 5 prototype of Japanese medium tank. It's from cardboard and paper from paper journal Kartonowa Kolekcja in 1:25 scale with some upgrades. Paper kits not so popular as plastic one, but I love them. They have their own vibe. In previous stages we hopefully finished the most difficult and routine part of work with this project, rollers. Also we have to finish exhausting system, which also not the best part of this kit, and as the final steps we will put some stuff, instruments on the top of this tank. Turret completed except antennas, so it's okay, and for caterpillars we have not original but from other manufacturer GPM upgrade set, and it's suited here well. We have several types of details here. I think it should be everything okay with it. I divided stripes with caterpillars, they are laser cutted and they have some relief, which is great. Also they are quite flexible and bend point located in correct position, and that's great as well. Totally 5 stripes, so I think 2.5 for each side. Also we have planks for outer side. We will locate them this way with the help of PVA or wooden glue, and details for inner side, kinda teeth. Actually, the most routine part is to divide all these details from the plate. 1 more million hours to complete this task. Well, actually some sort of complicated plastic separated truck links in 1:35 classical scale can take the same efforts and time, so it's okay, I think. Okay, stripes with truck links prepared, 5 pieces, planks for them also here. A lot of that details, but we have to deal with them. And teeth for inner side of the caterpillar. We'll start from planks, small amount of PVA, that would be enough to glue these details from soft cardboard, but in the same moment we have to avoid gluing of notches, which we will use later for bending process. Slow and methodic process of gluing, but it's in the same moment could be relaxing for someone. Step by step we can install all planks, after that time for teeth. That hole's a little bit too narrow for them, so I will make them a little bit wider. That helps us to install the details much easier and keep them without damage. We will spend here a lot of time on this stage, but process goes to its ending. I mean whole model. All details for caterpillars prepared, 2 big doubled stripes and 1 single stripe partially. I already bent some of the stripes, and the procedure here is similar to caterpillars installation on plastic kits. We put our links on rollers in correct direction and then bend them around the drive sprocket and rear lazy roller. These links are flexible and bending process is not difficult. So this preparational procedure before we paint these caterpillars will make our final installation process more easier. And yes, the only way to make these caterpillars become like a real one is to paint them in an ordinary to plastic scale models way. I did it, a mix of such colors, but you can use directly tone you need. A lot of paint was used here, but it worth it. I use here airbrush as a good alternative way, spray. Not the best solution hand brush, because it takes a lot of time and efforts to paint all details on these caterpillars. But that's not all. Now we use hand brush and provide some weathering effects on these links before installation, so dry brush technique suited here well. I took dark rust acrylic paint, and with almost dry brush we can apply here some weathering effects. So I provide some rustiness on both sides. After that I will do the same with silver paint to highlight some relieved details. Parts that have friction with rollers and with ground. In the end, with the help of super glue gel, caterpillars took their places on the rollers. I wanted to add a little bit of sedging effect here, and one side got more of it while other less sedged. But let it be, it wasn't easy walk, but finally all work with rollers, with chases of these tank caterpillars finished, hopefully. And they looks even better than I expected. After all, we can start process of finishing this kit. Among that details that left we have front fenders. I think they are optional here, but I will install them. Also I can glue here secondary 37mm front gun, which was assembled previously. Also we have here 7&7 machine gun. I'm glued it with the help of toothpick and a PVA glue. Well, I can use here super glue gel for faster and easier work as well. Other big sections that left here is exhausting system. It's a little bit complicated. Main blocks from cardboard I assembled. They are covered with mesh imitation. Optionally we could replace it with a real mesh, but unfortunately I hadn't such a mesh with a small grid, and I think this look good as well. Our main objective here to install this system on the rear section, on these handlers, but before I have to finish piping here. I don't like such details, I mean pipes or such rounded details, they are difficult in work. PVA glue allows to receive smoother and precise connection, but it's more difficult and takes much more time due to a longer drying period. I will use here super glue gel, I think. I prepared these details. Well, the secret here is to bend these details to prepare them as good as it possible. And if them bended properly, you can glue them in good way. Well, I received not the best piping, and I hope that some rusty paint or pigments will hide weak spots here. And when details prepared, I connected them together in one system and located it on the tank. Looks good in general, gaps and bad places I hide with the PVA glue and rusty acrylic color, so in general I think it's okay. Well, it also would be a good solution if you drill this hole in a pipe, miss that spot, and now it's late to drill it. And one more thing, handlers for towing cable, I installed them. We can leave them as it is or try to put here a cable. Totally upgraded solution here is bolts installation. They're only painted here. So if you want to add more relief, you have to purchase plastic or 3D printed bolts, paint them and then install on the kit. It's also routine and boring process which requires a lot of patience, but I decided to improve the view of this kit with such bolts. Towing hooks from front and rear section represented in paper. They are ugly because hooks should be rounded. As a solution, bend them from piece of wire, add bolts and paint in a correct tone. And the last one, sink towing cable. I decided to craft it. I use here cables from Eureka and hooks from scratch, from pieces of plastic, and partially there was used hooks from one tank in 1:35 scale. And I painted them in gunmetal. And in the end we received finished Chiri Type 5 Japanese medium tank prototype of tank. Well, I can say beautiful kit from Kartonowa Kolekcja in 1:25 scale with some upgrades. I added here a small amount of dry pigments to imitate sand dust on the caterpillars and rollers. also I covered the whole kit with a thin layer of matte acrylic coat. I don't know why, just I think to protect this paper. And what we have here? Interesting on this kit. Instruments, partially from toothpicks and from plastic and stock paper parts. Antennas from metal on the turret. Towing cable, we discussed it earlier. And a lot of bolts and rivets, which took a lot of time, but I think it's worth it. Well, actually this kit has even more potential for different upgrading solutions. For example, you can replace triplexes or add here protectional mesh from metal over exhausting system. It's all up on you. I'm very glad that I decided to build this kit, this project. It takes generally more than a year, I guess, of course with big pauses. By the way, there are several more interesting tanks from paper from this manufacturer, for example Cromwell MK4 or Light Polish Tank 70p. Both of them I think interesting and not too much overcomplicated due to their straight forms. But as usual it takes a lot of time and there are a lot of other kits in different scales from different materials. Also a lot of unfinished projects, so who knows what we assemble in the future. Anyway, hope you enjoy, thank you for watching and have a nice day. Good luck.